easy, adventurous book, but with the tension, with the drama, with the romance, allowing myself to just enjoy it. Good morning. We are going to be spending a summer weekend together. This week the weather has been so nice. It's been sunny, it's been warm, and so I'm really looking forward to spending this weekend doing some hobbies, going out in London and just enjoying the weather and enjoying summer. There are a few things that I want to do. First and foremost, we of course need a book to read, and I am going to be reading Light Wielder, which is the sequel to The Metal Slinger. In the first book, The Metal Slinger, we have our main character Jovi, who is part of a people that live on the ocean because they were exiled, and they come onto land to trade. And on one of the days that she's on land to trade, she bumps into this soldier. There's romance in this story, there's adventure, there's friendship, there's political intrigue. I had a lot of fun reading the first book, and so I'm looking forward to reading this sequel. This is available on Kindle Unlimited, so I do have it downloaded, and I think it came out like a month or two ago, so I'm excited to get to reading it. Then the second thing that I want to do is to update my personal archive. Now, I actually set this up in a previous video, but when I was flicking through it the other day, I realized that there are some things that I did in my art journal that aren't in here. So when I looked in my art journal, I did in fact realize that I forgot to tear those specific pages out, and I don't know why, but I did forget those. So I do want to make sure that those are in here, and I'm going to update that this weekend as well. Then tomorrow I am heading to a silent book club, which I have been doing monthly for the past few months, and I have been loving it. Not only the silent book club itself, but also I tend to treat that day as a day out in London, and I will do like a solo date before going to a silent book club, and so having that every month has been so much fun, and so that has kind of become a staple that I do every single month, and it's been really fun. So I'm looking forward to doing that tomorrow, and I will of course be reading The Light Wielder as well. And then on Sunday, if I haven't finished The Light Wielder, I will continue reading that or maybe pick up a new book. And I also want to do some painting. I haven't painted in a fair few weeks, and so I do want to do that, and I want to do some painting outside in the garden. So that's kind of the vibe that we've got for this weekend. Very summery, very outdoors, a lot of hobbies, and just enjoying the weather and enjoying summer because it is in fact my favorite season. Today specifically, I will be starting The Light Wielder probably during my lunch break. I also have some Spotify hours, so I might switch to the audiobook as well throughout this weekend, but I will be starting this today. And then in the evening, I will focus on updating my personal archive just with the pages that I forgot when I set this up in the first place. So those are kind of the plans for this weekend. So I am on chapter 14 of Light Wielder, which is about 20% of the way through the book. Now, one thing to note is that it doesn't pick up straight after The Metal Slinger. It actually time jumps about 4 years. However, we are back with the characters back in the story, and I had so much fun reading the first book that I'm really enjoying this as well. And it is an easy, adventurous book to get into, and that's something that I needed, I think, not only to get back into my summer TBR, but also because I recently DNF'd the entire Vampire Diaries series, which was a book series that I was really looking forward to reading because I love the TV show. So to get to a point where I needed to DNF it was so sad. I didn't really want to pick up another book, so I did need something a bit lighter, a bit more fun to just get straight into, which is exactly what this is giving at the moment. So I'm really enjoying it so far. I am going to be switching switching to the audiobook whilst I update my archive. So the 2 pages that I need to add are firstly this spread, which is based on a watercolor painting Skillshare class that I did. And then the second one is gouache painting that I did, mostly focused on palette knife painting, which is something new that I started that I've really been enjoying. But I essentially want to move those across into my new archive, and I think I'm going to take out the pages, maybe peel off whatever I can peel off, and see how I want it to be recreated in here. I do normally add stickers and things as well, but what I'm going to do is first set it up and then see what else I want to add. I unfortunately forgot to get glue, so I'm going to have to use tape, but that's what I'm going to start off with. Okay, so I think this is the kind of layout that I want to go for. And then I'm just going to rewrite some of my notes in here. I don't know what to do with this one because it's not quite fitting. So maybe we put this one underneath. So I think I've got the layout kind of sorted. I did unfortunately rip through a few of my notes when I was trying to peel the items apart, but I think I'm gonna go with this, and then I'm gonna add some notes, maybe a title, and maybe some stickers as well, just to make it look a little bit more fun. So that's the plan. I do think when I get glue, I'm gonna have to re-stick some of these items down because the tape doesn't quite get it as flat down as the glue does, but I think for now it will be fine and I can just add glue to it once I get it. Okay, so this is what we've got. So on this side I have the watercolor painting. I did add some decorated tape on there just so it looks a little bit nicer. And then on this side we've got the gouache painting. I've got some stickers and some tape. I would definitely stick them down with glue once I get that because a lot of the pages are curling up with the tape, and even on some of the previous pages where I've used tape, it's doing the same thing. So I will definitely do that once I get the glue, but this is how that looks. So I'm happy that that is all updated, and I think that is it for the archive for now. Okay, so the archive is all updated, which I'm really happy with, and I am really liking the fact that it's all in one notebook rather than having multiple separate ones. I just find it a lot more easier, a lot more inviting for me to pick up rather than having multiple different journals and scrapbooks and things that were kind of getting a little bit overwhelming. So I really like that it's all in one now. In terms of Light Wielder, I have just finished chapter 18, so I'm about 28% of the way through it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun in terms of the plot, the characters, the side characters, the romance, the world building. It's not overly complicated, but there's enough of everything for me to not only want to continue, but to really be enjoying it so far, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. This is the second book in this series, and I think it's the last one to focus on these specific characters, but then the next books in the series are going to focus on some side characters that we have at the moment. So I'm excited for that as well. I think that will be fun to continue the series, to continue in this world, and I think this will be a series that I recommend because it's really fun, and I have been listening to the audiobook quite a lot and I'm enjoying that too. This book specifically is dual POV, so we have the MMC and the FMC, and in the audiobook there are different voice characters for each of them, which I'm really enjoying. So I am going to continue reading this evening. I don't know how much more I'm going to read, but I will try and read a little bit more, and then we will catch up tomorrow morning before I head into London. Good morning. It is in fact the next day and I'm nearly ready to head out into London. I am running a little bit later than I wanted to. Essentially, I wanted to wake up at 8:30 and I ended up waking up at 9:30. I also planned on having a solo brunch day in London, but when I woke up this morning I was so hungry, so I ended up having breakfast at home, which also delayed me a little bit. I was planning on getting the 11:49 train and it's currently 11:43, so we're not going to be able to make that train, but I will hopefully make the one afterwards, and that should hopefully give me about an hour and a half to walk around, maybe read in a park, maybe go to a cafe, maybe do some book browsing. Now another issue is this week, because of the weather, the trains have reduced their service and also some of the trains just aren't working, and so that might cause me delays and issues, but hopefully we'll be fine. I'll still make it on time to the silent book club. I just don't know how much time I'll have beforehand to do a little solo date, so we'll see how that goes. In terms of Light Wielder, I am 37% of the way through this and I'm having so much fun, not only with the characters, but with the tension, with the drama, with the romance, with the yearning, with the friendships, with the dynamics, and with the world as well. I'm just having a lot of fun with reading this. I've also really been enjoying the audiobook. Now, because I will not only be reading the book, but also listening to the audiobook whilst I'm walking and whilst I'm on the trains, there's a possibility that I might finish this today. And so I'm thinking of taking another book with me in case I do finish it. And that book is going to be Alice in Wonderland. Now, one of my goals for this year is to read more classics, and so I've come to the decision to read one classic every season, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's something. And I found this gorgeous edition at a book bar in London that I went to about a month ago, and also the book's quite small, so it will fit in my bag pretty easily alongside my Kindle, so I will be taking this as well to read. And this is another book that's on my summer TBR as well, so hopefully I will start this today, but if not, then I will start it tomorrow. And those are the books that I'm going to be taking with me. What's crazy is I really thought last month that I would have my crochet bag ready to take with me today, but this is where we've got to. Now, if you aren't caught up with some of my previous videos, essentially I started making this bag and I want it to be the bag that I take when I go on my solo reading dates, and I thought I would have it ready for today. I thought it would take me about a month to make, but this is where we've got to, and we need to triple the height, we need to add a handle, we need to add a zip. There's a few things to do with it, and I just haven't been crocheting. I don't know if it's because it's a hobby that I like to do more so in the colder months, and so I haven't been picking it up, and therefore it might not be ready until autumn, but I really thought I would have it ready for today to take on my solo reading date out, but obviously not. So I will hopefully have that ready in the next few months, definitely this year, but it won't be ready for today. So I do need to get another bag ready to take with me, with my Kindle, with my book, with my camera. I'm also going to be taking my water bottle. Last time I went to London when it was sunny, I put a load of ice in here and it really helped me throughout the day just to stay cool, just to stay hydrated. So I will be doing that again. So I'm going to get everything ready and then we can head out into London and hopefully have enough time to do a bit of a solo date before the silent book club. I will be listening to the audiobook of Light Wielder as I'm walking and things because I've been enjoying the audiobook. I think because they have different voice actors, that helps a lot, and it's just been fun to listen to and to do an immersive read of. And it is a shorter book, so I do have enough hours to listen to the whole thing through Spotify as well, so I've been enjoying that a lot. But I will be continuing with this as we head out, so let's go. So I'm actually not going to make the next train, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to Boots, get a sun cream because my one just ran out and I'm going to need one to top up with throughout the day, and then I will get the train after that. Okay, so I've made it to London. The trains that I was getting were not delayed, so we got here at a pretty good time. I've got about 45 minutes until the silent book club. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I found a bench to sit at. So I'm going to sit here, enjoy the weather, enjoy a bit of the view, and have some water. And I'm probably going to continue listening to the audiobook of Light Wielder. I'm then going to walk around a little bit. There is a Waterstones close by, so I might do some book browsing there. And then I can head to the silent book club. I was originally thinking of going to a park, but I think I will probably do that after the silent book club rather than now, because I think it might be too hot to sit in a park right now, and I think it might be better to do that after the silent book club. In terms of Light Wielder, there have been some developments. At some points I wasn't sure what was going on or why it was happening, but now we've had some things revealed to us and I'm enjoying it. I'm liking the way that the story is going. We've had a bit of a twist, we've had some development. I'm liking the characters, the friendships, the dynamics. Things are changing, things are shifting, and I'm just enjoying it. So I'm going to keep listening to the audiobook, keep enjoying the weather, and then I will head to the Silent Book Club soon. I was going to get an iced coffee, but the Silent Book Club is at a cafe, so I think I will just get that at the cafe rather than beforehand, so that's the plan.
From the first moment I saw you, I knew I had to make you mine. Wanted to know everything about you.
Good evening. I am in fact back home now, and today was so much fun, as it always is. It was really hot, so I definitely had to make sure to stay hydrated and to try and stay cool, but it was so nice. I did do a little bit of a walk, a bit of exploring, and then the Silent Book Club itself ended up being at a park anyway. It got relocated, and so that meant that I didn't then feel the need to go to a park again afterwards to read, because we had already done it during the Silent Book Club. So that was really, really nice to do, and I think I want to do that more often, reading in the park or even in the garden. I do have a picnic blanket, and I was thinking this morning of taking it, and then I just didn't, so I wish I had. But next time I will remember to take it, and I will hopefully do a picnic reading session soon. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed the day. I'm definitely tired from the heat and just from traveling to and from London. It always takes it out of me a little bit, but it was such a fun day. It was so nice being in London when it's sunny, and I love going to these Silent Book Clubs. So I had a really good time. In terms of Light Wielder, I am now on chapter 47, so I am 77% of the way through, 78% of the way through. The fact that I thought that I was not only going to finish this but also start Alice in Wonderland today was, I don't know where that came from, but obviously we didn't do that. I do kind of want to do some painting this evening, so I might do that this evening instead of tomorrow, in which case I will continue listening to the audiobook whilst I paint. Now, what am I going to paint? I don't know. I have previously really enjoyed palette knife painting, and I've kind of just been messing around with that, so I might just do that again and have some fun with it whilst I continue to listen to Light Wielder. But that's how the day went. I'm really happy about it. So yes, let's do some painting, continue listening to this book. I don't know if I'll finish it today. I might finish it tomorrow instead, and then I am planning on booking a massage for tomorrow morning, so then tomorrow afternoon is probably when I'll get back to reading and stuff, because I have been having aches for a while, but they seem to have flared up a little bit this week, so I'm thinking of going to get a massage or maybe going to physio or something. But I'm thinking of going to a massage tomorrow just because they're open on the weekend, so that's kind of the plan. And then tomorrow midday, afternoon, evening, we can continue reading Light Wielder, finish that, and maybe even start reading Alice in Wonderland too, because I do want to start that this weekend in this video as well. So that's kind of where we're at. Again, I really had a good time today. I just love going into London, especially when it's bookish themed. I don't know why, there's just something about it, and there's something extra about it when it's in summer. So I do love these Silent Book Clubs. It really helps me to meet other people that enjoy reading, and it also helps me to hear about new books that I've never heard of before and maybe add some more to my TBR. So I've really been enjoying these Silent Book Clubs. I wish there were more of them that happen maybe more frequently, because I feel like I would want to go more than once a month. But other than that, I am really enjoying them. Over autumn last year, I was actually going to quite a few creative hobby events and things, and just to meet new people, and it was really, really fun. And I kind of haven't done that since last autumn, maybe a little bit in the winter, but mostly it was last autumn. So I'm thinking of trying to go to more of those events as well. So I have been kind of looking online for them, because the ones that I've seen are on a app called Click, and those are the ones that I went to last autumn, which were really good. So I'm thinking of trying to go to them again in the next few months and just generally bring that back, because I really, really enjoyed that in autumn, and I feel like it's been lacking a little bit recently. So that also might be something that I try and do as well. But I'm going to stop speaking. I am going to have some dinner. I don't know what I'm going to have, but I'm going to have some dinner, and then I'm going to do some painting and continue listening to Light Wielder.
I love your style, and I love your grace. Said I love to put a smile on your pretty little face. I love it when you're close to me. That's where I want you to always be. I didn't know when I found you eyes. That girl, you've got me hypnotized. Something's changed, baby, this I know. Summer rains turn to winter snow, but I promise you for sure, girl, my love is always yours. Something's changed, baby, this I know. Summer rains turn to winter snow, but I promise.
Good afternoon. It is in fact a brand new day and we have some catching up to do. Okay, first of all, I did do some painting yesterday evening. I just did this gouache painting and I'm just learning to have fun with painting, have fun with sketching and not being focused on whether it's good or not and just enjoying the process, the journey, because it is a hobby that I just enjoy and I'm okay with it just being that and it not necessarily being something that I'm really, really good at. I mean, I would love to improve, but I want my focus to be on the enjoyment of the journey and just have fun painting in the garden, sketching, having fun with it, listening to audiobooks whilst I'm painting. I really love that and it's just a nice way for me to have a hobby and to just enjoy it rather than focusing on trying to be good at it. So I do actually quite like how this turned out and I mostly like the fact that I'm just allowing myself to just enjoy it and not be so focused on the result and just having fun with the process a lot more. But I did get to do this yesterday evening, which I really, really liked doing. And in terms of Light Wielder, I did in fact finish this yesterday evening as well. And I've decided to give this 4 stars. So I enjoyed a lot of it throughout the entire book. I enjoyed the characters, the dynamics, mostly the friendships. I enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed a lot of the aspects of this book. However, the one part that I didn't like that definitely took it down was actually the romance, the relationship between the FMC and the MMC and kind of the switch up that we had. And there were other aspects and situations surrounding the romance that I didn't like. I'm not going to say what they are because I don't want to spoil the book for you, but there were just aspects of it that I didn't enjoy, that didn't make sense to me and kind of made it a little bit uncomfortable. One part of this was actually the fact that it felt like they kind of lost their friendship, because in the first book what I really loved is, yes, they were romantic, but they had a real friendship there between them, and I feel like we kind of lost that a little bit in this book. There were other aspects as well, but again, I don't want to spoil it for you, but that did take this book down a little bit to 4 stars. One thing that I do like is we did have at the ending with the epilogue, we kind of know who the next book will be focused on, so I am looking forward to that and I will be continuing this series because I did enjoy it. It was fun, it was an adventure, we were going to different locations, we were experiencing different characters. I just had a lot of fun with this series so far in general with these 2 books and I will be continuing it, but I did end up giving this 4 stars. And I have started to read Alice in Wonderland. Now this is split into 2 parts. So the first part is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And then the second part is Through the Looking Glass. So we basically got 2 short stories in here and they're about 120 pages each, I think 100 pages each. So they're quite small, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm halfway through the first part, so I'm 25% of the way through this entire book, so I definitely think I'll be able to finish it today. Also, there is a version of the audiobook available on Audible for free if you have a membership, and I do have a membership, so I do have that audiobook as well for free, which is great. So I have been listening to that as well, and so far I'm just having fun with this. This is light-hearted, it's a bit of an adventure, we're just having fun with imagination and with animals and creatures, and it's just fun, and it's obviously a children's story, so it's very light-hearted, and I can definitely see myself picking this up as a palette cleanser more often and wanting to reread it when I want to take a break from some heavier books that I read. And so I'm just having a lot of fun with it. So what I'm planning on doing is actually taking my picnic blanket, putting it in the garden, grabbing a water bottle, maybe grabbing some snacks and finishing this off in the garden, because I obviously forgot to take my picnic blanket yesterday. So I figured since we're at home, we might as well just use the picnic blanket in the garden and have a little solo reading day outdoors whilst we finish this, because it's not going to take too long, I don't think, to finish this whole book, and I would love to finish it today. Also, I did go for the massage this morning and it was so nice to have a restful and relaxing morning. I had a slow morning routine, I got my massage, I washed my hair, I did my chores, I kind of did a whole reset this morning, which was so nice. And so this afternoon I do want to focus on reading, on finishing this off, enjoying outdoors, getting into the sun, maybe not in the sun, getting in the shade but still being in the warmth, and having a bit of a solo picnic date. So that's what we're going to do now. have never done it before, but I think it might become a staple of summer for me. Picnic blanket on any spot of grass with a fun book. I also love the fact this book has pictures on it. It's got little sketches, which is a really fun touch. I have finished the first part and I'm about to start Through the Looking Glass. Good evening, everyone. That was so much fun to do. I can't believe I've never done it before, but it was so nice to just spend some time outdoors reading in a new location. I find a lot of the time when I read indoors that I tend to get distracted by a TV, by my laptop, by my phone, and so reading outdoors helps me detach from that a little bit more and focus on reading. So I really enjoyed that. I can also do other things besides reading. I could also update my archive, I could do some drawing, I could do some editing. So it would be fun to do some of those things as well and just have a new location to do that. And make sure that I'm spending time outdoors during the nice weather that we have at the moment. So I really enjoyed that and I will definitely be doing it more often. It did get a little bit cold, but next weekend is supposed to be really nice weather. So I will try and do it next weekend as well and maybe make it a bit more of a staple of my summer and of the weekends, especially on Sundays. I feel like it works really well on Sundays, especially today, because it helped to maintain the kind of vibe that I set up this morning with having a slow morning routine and a massage and having my reset, and it helped me kind of stay in that mode throughout the rest of the day. So I really enjoyed that and I will try to do it more often. In terms of this book, I keep calling it Alice in Wonderland, but it's called Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I love this. I loved this so much. It was so fun. It was so lighthearted. It was so carefree. It let your imagination run wild. I just had so much fun with it, and it was really good as a palette cleanser as well, and I can definitely see myself reading it more often and even just listening to the audiobook more often because it is free, so I can just listen to it whenever. So I definitely think I will be doing that, and it was just nice to read and nice to have a break from some of the other books that I've been reading, and it was just fun to read this, and especially because I read it in one day, which I love because it is quite short and it's just easy to get through. And I love the sketches in this book. I think they're so fun and they just look so great, and I really love those touches in this as well. So I really love this book and I love this edition. I actually got this in one of my previous videos, and I remember when I went to that book bar I spotted this and I knew I had to have it because it was so nice. So I'm so glad that I finally got round to reading this because it's been on my TBR cart for quite some time. Well, I can't remember when I got it, but it's been there for a while. So I really enjoyed reading this and I'm glad that we got through it. I am giving this a 5 stars because I did love it. It was just so fun. I had so much fun reading this. So that is officially read. In terms of this weekend in general, I have loved it. Not only the summer vibes, but also spending time at home and outdoors doing my hobbies like reading and updating my archive, and also spending time in London. I love when my weekends are full of my hobbies, but also with socializing in between. Those are my favorite kinds of weekends, especially in the weather like this, because summer is my favorite season. So I really love this weekend. I do love going to those silent book clubs. I don't know how often I'll go during the colder months because I remember last autumn I really struggled with going to creative events on the weekends. The weekdays I could do because I would just go after work because I was already out in London, but the weekends I really struggled because I just didn't want to go into the cold when I could be cozy at home or I could stay local. So I'll see if I keep going to them during autumn and winter. Maybe I will every now and then, or maybe it'll be a good way for me to make sure that I do go once a month because I do tend to just hibernate, which I need to break out of every now and then. So maybe this would be a good way for me to keep doing something that is aligned to my hobbies, but also meeting other people and socializing a little bit and just getting out into London. I could also add on a solo day every time I go as well, which I already do love. So hopefully I do keep going during the colder months, but we will see. In the meantime, I am loving them. I will keep going in the summer when I can make it, and I will try and maybe go to some of the other events. I have kind of been slacking a little bit on hobby events in general. I don't know why. I am actually planning on going to another one next Saturday, which will be in next week's vlog. But yeah, I haven't been going to as many as I thought I would. I went to quite a few in May, I think it was, and I did make it a bit more of a priority during that month, and then I kind of fell off. I think it might be because the weather has been quite up and down in England at the moment, and that might have pushed me to not go as much, but I might try and bring it back a little bit more. But I had so much fun this weekend. I do think that with my archive, I actually want to update it with how this weekend went. I'm not going to be doing that today. That will also probably be in next week's video. But because my archive includes all of the aspects that I like to do, from the book journaling to the art journaling to the scrapbooking to the journaling, I think it would be nice to have a spread that was focused on this weekend just gone, where I can talk about the books that I've read, I can add some pictures of how the weekend went, I can write down some thoughts, I can also include the painting that I did. So I think it would be really, really fun to do that, and I'm really glad that I've now got them all in one spot, because before I would have to separate them all, and I think it just makes more sense for me to just have it all in one go, and it makes it feel just so much more personal. And I don't know whether to call it a scrapbook or a personal archive, because I feel like they're doing the same thing. I just don't know which is the correct word for it, because I previously had the other scrapbook, and so I feel like I kind of want a new word for what this is, but I don't know. I might switch between the two of those words and see what sticks, but I do think I want to do that next weekend, and I think it would just be nice to have spreads that are focused kind of chronologically, where I don't have to separate them into different categories. I can just have it all in one go, which will be really fun, and I think it will be really cool. So I will hopefully do that update next weekend as well. In terms of what I'm going to be reading next, so there are 2 books that I want to read next. Well, technically 4, but we'll start with 2. The first one is Assassin's Quest, which is the 3rd book in the Farseer trilogy, and that trilogy is part of a 16-book series. So there's a lot of books in that series, and I have been enjoying it. It did take me a minute to get into the trilogy. However, I have been listening to a lot of it as audiobooks, and I've really been enjoying them. I've been listening to them primarily during my commutes during the week, which has been fun. And so I think I'm going to get back to the 3rd book, Assassin's Quest. I have already started this, and I've already made my way to about 60%. So I'm hoping to definitely continue it this week. Maybe I'll complete it as well, but I definitely want to get back to that book. And then the next book that I want to read is Iron Gold, which is the 4th book in the Red Rising series. So I've read the original trilogy. I did start Iron Gold, but I paused it because I think I just needed a bit of a break from this series. But now I've had that break, I want to get back to it, and I want to read Iron Gold, Dark Age, and Lightbringer, and I want to be completely caught up on that series. I think I'm ready to get back to that series and read those books as well. So I think those are the books that I'm probably going to be focusing on next. I will see if I find any other books that I want in between, but I do have a summer TBR already set up, and I've now read 5 out of 15 of those books, so I definitely want to make a bit more progress in that and get back to it. I detoured a little bit because I started reading the Vampire Diaries series, but now that I've stopped that, I can get back to this summer TBR and get back to reading those books that I set out to read in the first place that I still want to read. So those are probably the books that I'm going to be reading next. Thank you so much for spending this weekend with me. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I do have an Instagram account as well if you want more day-to-day updates, but other than that, I will see you in the next one. Bye.